Hey, what's up, everybody? Pep Man Matt Marr, Counter Varsity, coming at you. We're at the state championship game. We're looking at the 4AA matchup here. We've got Wake Forest taking on Mallard Creek. Mallard Creek will be recognized as the home team, as all the Western teams have been designated as the home teams by the state. All right, so you start looking at this. Of course, most Charlotte people don't know much about Wake Forest unless you're just a football junkie, which there aren't many. So let's run through some stats for Wake Forest. The quarterback is James, number 18. He's thrown for almost 2,000 yards on the year, 22 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, completion percentage of 64%. They've thrown it 142 times as far as the attempts go. So, looking at a little film on him, he's a big, strong pocket quarterback, good arm and good accuracy. Not a dual threat guy though. You look at the running stats here. They ran it for 492 times, so you're looking at a big 4-1, almost 5-1 run to pass ratio here. So Wake Forest is definitely a run first team. You look at Lawrence, number 3, he's the leading rusher, 1,350 yards on the year, 29 touchdowns, and then they've also got Dunn, who's number 6, 901 yards rushing and 12 touchdowns. Both of those guys average over 8 yards a carry. You look at the, I'll be remiss if I don't mention Mr. Jones also, who's got 883 yards on the year and 13 touchdowns. So you look at these guys on film. They're kind of a double wing offense, but they run some pro style stuff out of it. They'll get in shotgun, they'll do drop back game when they do throw the football. Then you've got the typical type of wing misdirection stuff that you run with the jet motion, wing motion, dives, off tackle sweeps, pitches, stuff like that. So that's what you're getting when you Wake Forest, and they run first. The big thing you got to keep in mind is these teams are not foreign to each other. Mallard Creek has defeated Wake Forest in the state title game before, and 2 times as a matter of fact. And Wake Forest is going to be super motivated to kind of correct that situation for sure. Receiving, not big numbers, of course, with what we just broke down, but the leading receiver is Goodwin, number 13. 30 catches and 645 yards and 9 touchdowns on the season. The thing with these wideouts is these guys are really, really physical, and they have really good attributes, meaning that they're tall, they can run, and when they do get thrown the ball, they catch it, and they have good technique. And that's going to be a challenge for Mallard Creek to defend with, which is something that we haven't seen with Wake Forest in the past when they faced Mallard Creek. They were really, really run-oriented back then, not much of a threat throwing the football, but they've adapted, and they have that in their arsenal now, which has made them even more dominant than they have been in the past, in my opinion. So all that offensive stuff with Wake Forest. Defensively for Mallard Creek, their big advantage, or what has been in the past, has been their defensive line. And they've got Jordan Davis, and they've got Mr. Johnson up there. They got talent on that D line, but Wake Forest is big up front too. You look at their roster, and they got a couple 300-pound guys. They got 6'2", 335, 6'4", 315, 6'3", 319, a 6'9" tackle that's 300, like 6'3", 280. So they've got some big boys on this line, and I think if Wake Forest is going to get the win, those big boys are going to have to control a very talented Mallard Creek front that we just talked about. Throwing the football, it's not going to be a big thing that Wake Forest does, but when you're a run-first offense, taking shots off of play action, and knowing you've got one-on-one matchups on the outside, you're going to take your chances. And I'd expect Wake Forest early to kind of show that they're not afraid and take a shot on whoever they feel like they've got the best matchup on. If I'm Wake Forest, I'm throwing away from Adonis Henderson, who I think is Mallard Creek's best corner, and I'm going to test the other guy. Mallard Creek is very talented in the defensive secondary as well, but Wake Forest has to show early on that they're not afraid of testing them and getting them to back off and try to make them respect, the threat of the pass because Mallard Creek's going to be in an 8-man box probably the majority of the game. And you flip it over, you look at the Wake Forest defense, and we'll go through some of their stats here and some guys to watch. Let's see. They've got Williams, who's a senior, number 32, with 139 tackles on the year. Looks like he leads the team with those numbers. Number 92, McKenzie, is a junior with 88 tackles and 21 tackles for loss. And that's amazing because Williams has 139 with 16 tackles for loss. So, you got a couple guys right there that are just flat out getting it done. Sacks, not huge sack numbers for Wake Forest, at least on max preps. McKenzie leads the way with 8 sacks on the season, and there's no one else that's over 3 listed here. So obviously, Wake Forest is a really, really physically talented team. You look at them on film. So a few games, they mix it up. Looks like they kind of game plan for the opponent. They play 3-man front sometimes, and then you see them against some other opponents that look like they're more run heavy. They'll go to a 4- and 5-man front. So they're a very versatile defense, and that's something that's hard to kind of game plan for when you're looking at it on the offensive side of football. Knowing Mallard Creek, they don't have stats posted available. We've seen them plenty of times this year. They are a run-first team, but they do have ability to kind of throw the football down the field. So these teams are kind of similar in their approach on offense and defense, because we've seen Mallard Creek kind of adapt their defensive ways at times this season too, depending on who they're facing. I don't think the ratio for run to pass is as varied for Mallard Creek as is for Wake Forest, but Mallard Creek does throw that 4-headed monster at running back at you, led by Najee Bryant. Quarterback Jaden Washington, we've talked about all year. Dual threat abilities, really throwing the ball well to kind of open up things for the offense overall. And then Knowledge Gainey, number 2, the big receiver, has come on the scene really strong as the season has gone along and make big plays on the outside. So if you're Wake Forest, those are the guys you're going to watch offensively for Mallard Creek. Defensively for Mallard Creek, like we talked about, the 2 big D linemen. I think at linebacker, Cameron Lowry once again is going to have to step up in the absence of Kalen Allen. And then, like we talked about in the secondary, Adonis Henderson, I believe, is their best cornerback. When you got 2 teams that are, really evenly matched, I think here, just based off of what I've seen, you look at special teams. Mallard Creek has a pretty good kicker from 35 and in my estimation. The punter, when he has time, he can get off really good high punts and can flip the field on you. They don't put film out on special teams publicly, usually for Wake Forest here, so we're not too sure on what we're gonna get here. Maybe we can find some kicking stats real quick while we're talking about it. Just scrolling through. All right, so the kicker is Paris, who's a junior. He has 18 touchbacks listed on Max Preps. So that's a pretty good number there. Looking at his, did they do the scoring here? Let's see. Kick points. Yep. 87 kick points, so they're really good at extra points, obviously. He's only missed 3 all year out of 81 attempts. Wow. Field goals, 3 out of 6, longest 37. All right, so kicking game sounds pretty similar also. So really evenly matched game here, and I think we're going to have a good one at Wake Forest. This is the 12 o'clock game at Wake Forest University up in Winston-Salem. We're going to be there. Dale Ross will be there from the start. I'll be there probably second half for this one. Hoping we get a lot of fans from both sides here. Obviously, there's history. And, Mallard Creek, this team has been different from their past ones. The other ones had a huge D1 talent. This team is they're very talented, but they're hardworking. They're a close-knit group. They're fun to be around. I've covered them 5 times this year. The coaching staff is a really good staff, good guys also, and we're wishing them the best of luck. But Wake Forest is a very talented team in their own right, just based off what I've seen on film and obviously the results they've had all year. So I think it's going to be a great state title game. I look forward to seeing everyone. If you see us, say hello from Carolina Varsity. Appreciate you watching. Thanks a lot, and good luck. Everybody play safe and stay healthy. Thanks a lot.